Evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. Rolly Hoyt here with Brooke Buckner, and we've got a weather impact alert set to go in place tomorrow.
Yeah, this comes as the holiday weekend is quickly approaching. So for more on how it might affect your plans, let's bring in meteorologist Nathan Scott.
So we're getting stormies now and then worrying about rain, it seems like all the way through Memorial Day at this point, right, sir?
Rolly and Brooke, we told you last week that we would be going into a wet weather pattern for this week, and I think the best chance of widespread coverage of showers and thunderstorms will be happening on your Tuesday. Yes, there'll still be chances for the rest of the work week into the weekend. We'll get more into that forecast a little bit later, but here's your weather impact alert starting for the afternoon hours, continuing through the early evening. Strong, possibly severe thunderstorms will be in play. Main concerns will be a round of heavy rain, lightning, thunder, maybe some high winds, and also some hail. The tornado threat is really low, but it could impact the evening commute. So you want to stay informed and alert and be prepared for a slow evening rush across the region. Here's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. It's a level 2 out of 5, so a slight risk for the majority of Arkansas. Nothing unusual for this time of year. Right now, it could be a little bit of light rain for parts of the region. A lot of this is not reaching the ground, but you see a little bit of green showing up in Prairie County and then a few rumbles of thunder happening into Lee County, moving into St. Francis County. Tonight, variably cloudy, tropical. Temperatures only dropping down into the low to mid 70s, and tomorrow before the rain arrives, I think the temperatures will be able to climb up into the low to mid 80s. That round of showers and thunderstorms will arrive in northwest Arkansas for the morning. I'll have more on the timeline and a look at future radar coming up.
All right, Nathan, thank you. Sad news in Jacksonville today where a 6-year-old boy is dead after a shooting last night. It happened in that lot there you see next to an Entergy substation. Officers say they got there, they found a child in a vehicle, reportedly shot multiple times, but they also found 2 adults apparently in the car as well, but unhurt. Police are still looking for any potential suspects. They have not identified the victim, and they're asking for tips from you if you have any information.
Up in northwest Arkansas, a shooting there left Fort Smith police officer Kyle Newman with life-threatening injuries. Tonight, he's still recovering here in Little Rock, and as he does so, people from his hometown community in Lavaca are coming together in support.
Yeah, let's catch you up on what happened. It's all according to Fort Smith police. Newman got a call about a group of miners, and on the way to that, he came upon a truck that had driven into a ditch. The driver, 27-year-old Joshua Keller, allegedly became argumentative, started a chase, and then police say he pulled a gun and shot Officer Newman in the neck.
Keller was later shot and killed, and now the entire community is praying for his recovery.
I was worried about him, praying for him, and I hope he's fine.
Well, we've all been praying for him right along, and with just a lot of family.
We are all praying for Kyle. We hope nothing but the best for the family, and we truly hope that Kyle can recover.
Tonight, we're told Officer Newman is still in critical condition, but Fort Smith PD says he has shown signs of improvement. Attorneys for Joseph Duggar were in a Florida courtroom today as the child molestation case against the former reality television star moves forward.
Duggar's accused of abusing a 9-year-old girl during a family vacation back in 2020. He did not appear today in court, but his attorneys did ask to amend a no-contact order in place that prevents him from being around his own children.
Duggar and his wife Kendra also face 8 charges, each in Arkansas, for false imprisonment and endangering the welfare of a minor. His next hearing in Florida is set for July 14th.
Black people and African Americans living in Jacksonville are leading a charge to change the city's government. T311's Tanya Motorsitsky reports on the petition drive to go from an at-large system to one focused more on neighborhoods.
The debate is not new in Jacksonville.
Few people have served 20, 30, 40 years. And that's why we don't have a busing system anymore. That's why I could go down the gamut of why Jacksonville is struggling, because you have a few people that at large keeps them in power.
Who city council members answer to, the entire city, or the neighborhoods they represent, is at the center of growing debate. After last year's conversations among city council members about changing the at-large voting system to ward-based, the NAACP Jacksonville chapter has been trying to give the effort a boost with a petition.
You got 10 people that you have never met running for seats that you don't know nothing about in wards that you don't even live. And so it keeps people confused, and that's purposeful.
President Reginald Ford says they got the 1,000 signatures ahead of the June 1st deadline and are now counting up the numbers. In a statement from the city, it says the city of Jacksonville supports residents exercising their right to participate in the democratic process and encourages community members to make their voices heard through civic engagement. In a text from council member Dr. Trinika McCoy, she supports moving toward ward-based voting and last year pushed for a hybrid approach that did not advance, but with it being an election year, the city has the authority to address this on the ballot. She says this conversation is fundamentally about representation and ensuring residents across all areas of Jacksonville feel they have equitable access. In Jacksonville, Tanya Motorzycki, THV 11 News.
Tanya, thank you. And if the signatures gathered by proponents are verified, the question will go before city voters this November. The Supreme Court is punting on an issue of whether private citizens can file lawsuits under the Voting Rights Act. 2 cases are now headed back to lower courts. Of course, the Voting Rights Act helped dismantle those Jim Crow laws that blocked blacks from their civil rights in the 1960s. Over the years, voters used its provisions to challenge congressional and legislative district maps. Well, a federal judge in Arkansas upended all that back in 2022. He said only the Justice Department could sue, and an appeals court backed that up despite conflicts with other states. Well, after the Supreme Court said that racial gerrymanders are unconstitutional 2 weeks ago, those lower court rulings will now have to be redecided.
Arkansas Children's Hospital is known across the country for the care it provides to children and trauma patients, and tonight that care is expanding and leveling up. THV 11 went inside today for a first look at the multi-million-dollar expansion that aims to serve more patients. THV 11's Tamer Knight shows us those new additions.
Arkansas Children's Hospital is in the middle of the largest expansion project in its history.
To create this environment where children can be in awe of where they are, that they find delight in watching the butterflies and see the light and the art, and not feel like it's a sterile, scary hospital.
The $371 million expansion is designed with more than just medical care in mind. President and CEO Marcy Dorther says the new spaces were created to help children and families feel more comfortable while also making it easier to navigate their care.
So we brought art in here to make sure there was something to discover, a bit of delightfulness in the course of walking through our spaces. We also wanted to ensure that there was a lot of natural light, that there is access to outside.
Along with the new lobby and gallery, the Champions Pavilion officially opens on May 5th. The state-of-the-art facility now provides outpatient services in a space designed specifically for same-day care.
So the family comes in, they have their surgery, and they leave and go home from here. What's wonderful about this new space is that it's dedicated solely to that.
Champions Pavilion also features a floor dedicated to clinical research, giving patients access to new therapies not available anywhere else in the state.
We are able to accommodate the most complex medical conditions, sometimes life-threatening conditions that affect children. We're able to treat those children with new therapies that are not currently available.
We spoke with Denia Barton, a patient in orthopedics and sports medicine, who says the new facility has already improved her experience.
Being into the new facility, I really enjoy it. I feel like it's way better, way more spacing, way more like evaluation, especially being the fact that I'm a basketball player and they can go over and look at it and take me over and just make me a better person.
Tamer Knight, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Tamer. Construction on the $371 million project is expected to continue for another 2 years. And heads up before we go to break, as the summer approaches, local veterinarians say so does peak bobcat fever season. It's a deadly tick-borne disease that started in bobcats but can affect domestic cats too. While not every animal shows symptoms, there are signs to look out for. If your cat seems off, won't eat, and is running a high fever or even turns yellow, you should get treatment. And as we look ahead to summer, travel is becoming a big concern for a lot of people. How high gas and flight prices are impacting vacation plans after the break.
The Tuesday morning rush may be dry. Very small chance there could be an isolated shower in the morning, but the weather goes downhill through the afternoon and evening hours with that weather impact alert going into effect. A line of storms will be rolling its way through, and it could get quite noisy. I'll have more on the threats and a look at future radar and the rest of your work week into the Memorial Day weekend forecast coming up.